It's time to improve your vocabulary with verbs that English speakers use. Hello, this is Josh. Welcome to English Speaking 360. English has many synonyms. Synonyms are words with similar meanings. Knowing more synonyms helps you understand much better. For example, you probably know the verb to buy, but do you know purchase? Purchase is an intermediate level verb. And we also have acquire. So buy, purchase, and acquire have the same meaning, but they are at very different levels. However, verbs can have many different meanings. So, verbs are not always interchangeable. What I mean is, a beginner level verb like buy has a very broad meaning and it can be used in many sentences. However, purchase sounds very educated, so it is not used as often as buy. And the same goes for acquire. Acquire is a formal verb. It's used in books, newspapers, and in written documents. Here's a sentence that works with all three verbs. They hope to new equipment for the lab soon. So you could say, they hope to buy new equipment for the lab soon. If you say buy, then your sentence is at a lower level. However, you could also say, they hope to purchase new equipment for the lab soon. Purchase new equipment, that sounds very educated. If you say, they hope to acquire new equipment for the lab soon, maybe that is something you would hear on the news, for example. Here's another one. I need to your offer before I decide. I need to think about your offer before I decide. You know this one already. How about a more advanced verb? Consider. I need to consider your offer before I decide. Oh, consider is a beautiful verb that you should be using sometimes. Ponder. Ponder is very advanced. I need to ponder your offer before I decide. That is not something people say every day. It's something that you would see in written form. I waking up early on weekends. I hate waking up early on weekends. Everybody does. I detest waking up early on weekends. This one has an even stronger focus on the hate feeling. I detest waking up early on weekends. How about this one? Loathe. I loathe waking up early on weekends. It's very strong. And as I said before, that is a written word. It's not really something that we say in everyday conversations. His lawyer told him to all communication with his former employer. Former employer is his ex-boss. So his lawyer said, do not communicate with your ex-boss. So you could say, his lawyer told him to stop all communication with his former employer. Very good sentence. His lawyer told him to terminate all communication with his former employer. Just as good, but it does sound even more educated. His lawyer told him to cease all communication with his former employer. To cease is a word that we see very often in the context of law. A cease and desist letter, for example. It means to stop. After handling raw chicken, be sure to your cutting board thoroughly. After you deal with raw chicken, what do you have to do with your cutting board? You should clean your cutting board thoroughly. That's good. It's a very nice word, very basic. How about this one? Sanitize. After handling raw chicken, be sure to sanitize your cutting board. And the highest level, disinfect. After handling raw chicken, be sure to disinfect your cutting board thoroughly. But remember, all three words mean to clean at a different level of English proficiency. The stock market, when investors panicked. So for this one, you could use fall. You could also say crash. And the last one is collapse. But since this sentence is at the past tense, you would have to say the stock market fell when investors panicked. The stock market crashed when investors panicked, or the stock market collapsed when investors panicked. Maybe you've noticed in the way I said it, but fell doesn't have a very strong feeling. Collapsed feels like the stock market fell even more. Volunteers came to the cleanup. Volunteers came to help with the cleanup. Very basic sentence. Volunteers came to assist with the cleanup. Excellent. How about this one? Volunteers came to facilitate the cleanup. Facilitate, to make easier. So they came to help with the cleanup. The spy wore sunglasses to his eyes from the surveillance camera. You know, these days there are many CCTV cameras everywhere, so the spy wore sunglasses to hide his eyes. How about the next one? The spy wore sunglasses to shield his eyes from the surveillance camera. He wore sunglasses to conceal his eyes from the surveillance camera. The police were able to the thief before he left the country. So the police were able to catch the thief before he left the country. The police were able to capture the thief before he left the country. The police were able to apprehend the thief before he left the country. Apprehend is a word that you will hear very often on the news. On TV, very often. In news shows, they use high-level words. The bomb, before they could disarm it. For this sentence, you could use blow up. Blow up is a very common phrasal verb. Explode is also a good word to use. And detonate, even stronger. But since our sentence is at the past tense, you would say the bomb blew up before they could disarm it. The bomb exploded before they could disarm it. The bomb detonated before they could disarm it. The waves will the sand castle in just a few seconds. You see, the castle is right on the edge and the waves are starting to eat at it. So, the waves will break the sand castle in just a few minutes. The waves will destroy the sand castle in just a few seconds. The waves will demolish the sand castle in just a few seconds. Thousands of people when the volcano erupted. When there's a volcano eruption, many people die. So you can use the verb die, which is very basic. You could say pass away, or you could even say perish. Now, the sentence is at the past tense, so you would say thousands of people died when the volcano erupted. Thousands of people passed away when the volcano erupted. This one is much gentler. People died is not very compassionate. Thousands of people passed away, so you feel sad. And perished. Thousands of people perished. This has the sense that it was a tragedy. Many people perished in this volcano eruption. Now, let's review very quickly. Buy, purchase, acquire. Think about, consider, ponder. Hate, detest, loathe. Stop, terminate, cease. clean, sanitize, disinfect. Fall, crash, collapse. Help with, assist with, facilitate. Hide, shield, conceal. Catch, capture, apprehend. Blow up, explode, detonate. Break, destroy, demolish. Die, pass away, perish. Now you're ready for your quiz? Here we go. It's quiz time. Test yourself. I hate the smell of cigarette smoke. I really hate that too. I'm giving you 6 possible words here. What would you replace hate with? Destroy, cease, apprehend, consider, shield, or loathe. You ready? I loathe the smell of cigarette smoke. Question 2. You can buy tickets online or at the station. Buy is a very basic word. Facilitate, purchase, sanitize, collapse, explode, or perish. You can purchase tickets online or at the station. Question 3. You should clean the wound before applying a bandage. So if you have a cut, you have a wound, so you should clean the wound. What would you say instead of clean? Demolish, cease, assist with, ponder, acquire, or disinfect. You ready? You should disinfect the wound before applying a bandage. Question 4. The robot broke the wall. What could you use instead of broke to sound more educated? Destroy, crash, apprehend, consider, shield, or terminate. The robot destroyed the wall. But here, wait, destroy the wall? No, you have to say the robot destroyed the wall because it's a past action. You cannot say the robot crashed the wall. The robot crashed through the wall. That would be a correct sentence, but here there is no through, so you have to use destroy. Question 5. In action movies, cars blow up, but the actor always walks away without a scratch. What would you use instead of blow up? Facilitate, capture, sanitize, collapse, explode, or perish. You ready? In action movies, cars explode, but the actor always walks away without a scratch. Question 6. I often think about what life would be like in another country. Think about. Demolish, cease, assist with, ponder, acquire, or pass away. You ready? I often ponder what life would be like in another country. Ponder is used when you think very deeply about something. Question 7. A police officer's main duty is to catch criminals. To catch criminals instead of catch. Detest, crash, apprehend, consider, shield, or terminate. Make your choice. A police officer's main duty is to apprehend criminals. Try to remember apprehend, especially if you're studying to take an important test like the IELTS test or the TOEFL test. That sounds very educated. Question 8. Good lighting helps with reading. What would you say instead of helps with? Facilitate, capture, sanitize, collapse, explode, or perish. Good lighting facilitate good reading, but you cannot say facilitate good reading. You have to use the third person S. Good lighting facilitates reading. Question 9. Superheroes often wear masks to hide their identity. What would you say instead of hide? Demolish, cease, assist with, conceal, acquire, or pass away. Superheroes often wear masks to conceal their identity. Question 10. She slipped on the ice and fell to the ground. Ouch, that looks painful. What would you say instead of fell? Detest, crash, detonate, consider, shield, or terminate. She slipped on the ice and crashed to the ground. Don't forget, you have to use the past tense here. She crashed to the ground. Great job! If you need more practice, don't forget to go to my website. There will be more activities and all the explanations are in written form on the website. Don't forget to check out my other videos as well. They are all excellent. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.